Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Empowered Pause. I am your host, Rachel Chinoa J. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here on Wednesday, July 5th. We haven't been here in almost a month now. So, welcome back. I'm glad to be back seeing most of you who watched the show. We're just going to get right into it. The Empowered Pause, as you may know already, but for those of you who do not know, the Empowered Pause is brought to you by Speak Initiative. Speak Initiative is a nonprofit organization, and Speak stands for Suicide Prevention Through Empowerment, Action, and Kindness. We are a peer support organization that stands in the gap with people who are experiencing mental health challenges or who have had past suicidal ideations. And our mission here at Speak is to reduce the stigma around suicide and mental health care in the Black community by allowing our partners to speak, be heard, and live fully, right? So, before we get into today's topic, I would like to announce again that the Empowered Pause has celebrated its 1 year anniversary. We launched this program last June to hold virtual space for anyone who may need a brief midweek pause. Here, we are allowed to connect, to stop, to recharge with encouragement, empowerment, grace, and gratitude. Each week, our goal is to share information, experiences, or ideas around journeying through this life empowered and equipped, equipped to live healthy and fully, right? So that's what we hope to do here on the Empowered Pause each week. It doesn't have to be a long session, but it just is to maybe give you some ideas or different ways of coping or different ways of thinking about your journey throughout your week, throughout your experience, right? So today's message isn't long, like I said, but I feel it's very helpful to discuss. The topic is reset. And reset is basically to set again or anew, or it's when you start over or probably adjust a little bit, right? So, a little about myself. I'm a person who is very intentional about the things that I feel I need to be done with myself. You know, I'm a list person. I like to write, I like to type things out. Anything that's on my mind, be it ideas, tasks, the grocery list, anything is either written on post-its, it's on my phone, or it's actually in an Excel worksheet. And I smile when I say that. Excel happens to be one of my go-tos because I love the program and I like organization. So anyone who knows me knows that Excel is a thing for me, right? So list, right? I'm doing things, I'm putting goals down, I'm putting down tasks that I have to do. So we're intentional. I guess most of us would be in our adult lives, try to be as intentional as we can to get the things done that we need to do. Sometimes it works that way. Sometimes it does not, right? So naturally, when you have goals and we're working towards things, it can be a bit disruptive when things are shifted, adjusted, or even stopped, especially if you weren't expecting any or maybe not all of those types of obstacles, right? But this is the nature of life. This is the nature of life. And it's in these moments of challenge, confusion, or change that it is okay to reset. I want to ask, and this may be dating myself, but it's okay. We're all friends here. Does anyone remember the days of the first video games, the consoles that we had when I don't remember exactly how old I was, but my younger cousin had all of the different video games and the first ones that came out. Then we had the handhelds, and it was really exciting, right? But I remember playing Centipede or even Donkey Kong and doing great, but that wasn't how it started out. I also remember I would get so frustrated at times that I would just reset the entire game. Just erase my crappy score, erase what I had just done. It wasn't going well, reset. And it wasn't that I didn't want to finish the game. I just wanted to start it a different way, right? And then in that way, I would remember the mistakes I had made previously, so I wouldn't have to make those again and the next time, so I can get past those levels. So there were times where I would reset the game multiple times a day. It's just like, nope, I don't like it. Nope, I don't like it. I don't like that. So it's interesting how flexible mentally and some of us physically, right, we were when we were younger. We were flexible to change. We were more amenable because sometimes we didn't have the ability to fight the change. We just went along with it. As a 50-year-old, I find myself more locked in now and steadfast than I probably did as a 6 or 7-year-old. And that could be because we don't, we grow up, we go through experiences, we begin to pick and choose what works for us, right? As children, we're not always given the choice to challenge the changes or adjustments. We just change and adjust as we have to. However, as adults, since we believe, most of us feel that we control our own lives and our own destinies, I think we sometimes settle in the comfort of not being challenged. So when challenge, confusion, or change that isn't in our control does happen, it can feel like your entire world is off track, right? I have to consistently give myself permission to reset certain goals, desires, and dreams as reality is doing what it does. I had to remind myself that adjusting is part of the journey. We may not be able to go all the way back to the beginning and reset everything, but we can reset or adjust as much as we need to keep or regain our footing along this path that we call life, right? So I had to actually recently reset my reactions to challenges and changes and realize that a reset isn't a bad thing, right? Just because we have to sit still, pause, if you will, and take account of everything that's going on and maybe approach whatever it may be a different way, that is a form of resetting or adjusting. We do it constantly, but when we're forced to do it, that's when the problem comes in, right? I had to remind myself that reset is again, adjusting is again part of the journey. We might not be able to go all the way back, but we can do as much as we can, right? So I reset my reactions to challenges, and I realized that sometimes resetting can give you an opportunity to approach things differently, to reimagine, or even open up your life to ways that hadn't been considered, right? Sometimes what we think is something that's meant to hurt us can actually bless us. So don't be afraid to reset. That's our message for today. Don't be afraid of the reset. So, as always, I would like you to react, comment, share this episode of The Empowered Pause, visit our YouTube channel, and rewatch the episode or any of the earlier episodes that you may have missed. We're also walking weekly through Speakers with Sneakers. The flyer will be up on all of our social media platforms, and you can actually register for the event on our website, which is speakinitiativesuicideprevention.org. All one word, speakinitiativesuicideprevention.org. Thank you for watching tonight. Until next time, take care.